Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Short Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we are... Oh, I am muted. Good. We're continuing on with part 2 of our very special charity one-shot running Pathfinder First Edition, set in the plane of Innistrad, as featured in several Magic the Gathering source books, or not source books. What do you call them? Expansions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sets, expansions.
Sets. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. If you haven't seen the first episode, I will, after the stream, include a link to it in the description of this video. But you can see on the if you go to the Dungeon Musings channel, you can find the first part. If you've already seen the first part, then don't worry about it. We will just carrying on here. But with me tonight are the stars of the one shot. Starting off, the very generous donor and exceptional player who has made tonight's session possible, Jeffrey. Let's tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'll be playing Rickard. He is a male human swashbuckler / trickster, and you can see his picture there on the screen. And tonight, I'm going to be having some Robert Mondavi wine.
Nice. We're shaking things up. Classing up the joint. Look at you. You took 2 levels in Culture Vulture. Next up is Dave F.
Hey, everybody. I am David J. Forte at David J. Forte on Twitter and Instagram. Tonight, I am playing Magdalene. She is a Cavalier Cleric of Avacyn from Gavany, and she's 31, 5'4", blonde hair, blue eyes. Kind of wishing she wasn't my character and she was sitting here with me. We were going to watch some movies tonight, but it's not the case. And I am drinking a Max Froster and good old Manitoba Crown Royal, because that's what we do when from the Peg City.
And last but not least, joining us for part 2, Dave O.
Hey folks, my name's Dave. Well, this will be my first time playing Ulrich, and he is the group tank, human shapeshifter.
Yes. So let's quickly refresh everyone's memory as to who our guys look like. So here is Rickard, the swashbuckler who wields an enchanted rapier called Silver Dawn. That is a fragment of the Hell Vault. We have Magdalena, the Ghost Rider Cavalier, who summons a spectral horse as her mount. And finally, Ulrich, the big, tough, and scary shifter. So, our scene opens, guys, very much like what we see on the screen there. This is the town of Heronkirk. And we can see that there is smoke still, small tendrils of black acrid smoke that is drifting up. The sun has almost completely set behind those tall, towering mountains in the west that we can see behind there. But there's still a red glow in the town. And along that road leading up to the walls of Heronkirk strides at kind of a loping speed, kind of a trot, I guess, an enormous black wolf. This thing bounds its way down. We see it making its way past the open gates, and it seems to stop for a moment, and its big yellow eyes look up, and it studies the now dormant wards that are the holy symbol of Avacyn, marked on the gates of these doors. Things that this wolf knows would keep the dark things of the night at bay, had they any power. He makes his way into the town, passing the charred remains and the skeletal black ash that makes up the buildings that once housed the homes and businesses of the people of Herrenkirk. But as this massive canine makes its way through the ruined streets, choked with ash and charred bodies, we see no signs of life. The enormous wolf makes its way to the center of town, where the empty frame of what was once the magnificent church of Herrenkirk stands. The giant wolf makes its way up the steps, spares a glance up at the shattered remains of what was once a gorgeous stained glass window. And this, guys, is what you can kind of expect: large, swooping ceilings. Though it's not light, it is dark. And through those enormous double doors, which one of which has been smashed and lies kind of half off its hinges, strides this enormous wolf. And as this makes its way in to the center of it, what you see, giant wolf, is a series of, effectively a crowd of charred skeletons that all, and corpses that all lie on, not lie, but have kneeled in prostration, all in towards one singular direction. And in the center of this, what was, no doubt a conflagration that consumed everything within here. There is a skeleton that is about, it's delicate in spite of its size, but it stands probably about 8 or 9 feet tall, or it would that this thing still had flesh and bone on it, or flesh on it. But behind this enormous skeleton as well are 2 sweeping but now skeletal wings that no doubt would have been majestic, would that this thing was still living, but they seem quite ghoulish in this light. And as the wolf goes in, it sort of, snarls as its nose draws in the acrid smell of charred flesh. And it sees then 2 other figures standing. 3, I suppose, now. One is Rickard, who we described earlier. One is the armored form of Magdalena, her eyes red, having wept herself dry. And the third is a young boy, or a young man, I should say, not a boy, with a long robe, short hair, who looks like this. That is, of course, Sigmund, your resident occultist. So as this giant wolf comes striding in, we see it sort of hear this twisting of sinew and bone as it reshapes. And in place of the giant wolf, in a couple of strides, we instead see the towering form of Ulrich. So Ulrich, what do you say as you walk in? This is all shocking and new to you. You have been you got my email, right, Dave, about what you knew before?
Yeah. So, but I was unclear, Kev. Do I know these 3 figures in the?
Yeah, like you guys were all part of this. Like it's effectively like I'm picturing that the 4 of you guys were the group that was sent out to pursue Elspeth Falkenrath to recover the Censer of Tears and to deal with her as well too. You had flown ahead, and Jeff and Dave, you didn't get the benefit of hearing this, but what Ulrich had done, because Ulrich can transform into a giant bat, he flew ahead, like basically as the crow flies, and he basically wanted to make sure that the surrounding farms were clear of any of Elspeth's spawn. Because what she's done is, she'll go out and kill people, raise them as vampires, and just leave them behind to cause trouble for you guys and slow you down.
Right.
So to allow you guys to actually catch up with her in Herrenkirk, Ulrich went ahead and was going to meet up with you guys in the town. But you didn't expect this. Like this completely devastated town is not at all what any of you had expected. So Ulrich, what you'd expected to do was meet up with the guys, in a thriving town and then figure out where she might be staying and then hunt her down. What you found instead was that this entire city was burned to the ground somehow. And like I told the guys last time, that is something well beyond what you expected Elspeth Falconwrath to be capable of. She is a ghoul caller, so she can work necromantic black mana spells, but this scale of power is well beyond anything she is capable of.
Right, but we had, I had been given a vision by a
right. That's where I'm going to let, like, rather than explain to everything that happened, we'll just do it in character. Ulrich's come in. He didn't find any stuff, and I'll let you guys in character sort of fill in Ulrich as to what the fuck happened.
Yeah, Ulrich, thank God you're here.
Oi, what happened here?
The host of Herons. She's been slain. The whole town. It's almost too much to even comprehend.
Could she even have done this? This is beyond even her.
No, the vampire didn't do this. I interacted with a Geist, and I was forced to live through what happened, and it was horrible. A burning blade came, and almost like a meteor or something came crashing through the cathedral and destroyed everyone who was hiding here.
Dave, would you kindly give me... Let me see here. I think you're trained in religion, in knowledge religion. You are not. So, never mind. Sorry.
Are you
talking
Ulrich?
Dave, yeah, sorry. Ulrich, I'll call you guys by your character names.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be easier. So, Dave, Ulrich, this is... Your character doesn't know this, but just because it's really badass, that's what a burning blade is.
Ah, that is badass.
Mm-hmm. And by contrast, a host of heron angel looks like this.
Ooh.
That's the skeleton you see. Is imagine those majestic kind of crane-like wings, but skeletal and completely, devoid of any flesh, hair, or feathers. And because it's a badass thing too, let's just quickly remind ourselves who Elspeth Falconwrath is. Was correct.
Destroyed. She's dust.
So,
but we know there's a nearby monastery.
That's right, Heron's Grace Monastery. And Magdalena, you've actually been there before too.
Yeah.
So this, guys, this is what Heron's Grace Monastery looks like.
And so I'm worried. If this has happened here, if the burning blades have struck here, then perhaps they've done this or worse at the monastery.
Yeah, and just as it is inconceivable that an angel would do this. These are the angels are the manifestation of the grace of Avacyn, the archangel, who is the head of this church. So that grants all the power that every one of the priests of Avacyn, the spring sages, all the types of all the divine magicians and magic workers, all of them spring from Avacyn. It's inconceivable that this would ever happen.
Is it possible for them to be corrupted?
We don't know. We know they didn't get along, but this isn't something that they would do.
No, they would never. Avacyn. So I suppose the.
But Avacyn's been missing. Maybe she was what was holding them in check.
Maybe. All I know is the trouble is greater than even we thought originally.
Yeah.
I think we should make haste to the monastery.
Is this the only town that we suspect this has happened to?
You guys have been, like, up until this point, let me show you the map of Innistrad. Because it's a really awesome. This is actually a map I found online, too. Someone had taken the time to put the sucker together. And it's just awesome. So where you guys are is... Wait, did I do it right? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. Right here, guys, this is the Heron's Grace Monastery. Oh, right over here. Sorry.
It's definitely the only place we know that this has happened.
You guys have been pursuing her since Thraben. That's just how long you've been pursuing this woman, or how long you've been pursuing Elspeth. And like, there's been horrors that you've passed. Like Elspeth somehow took or like used her vampiric will to capture members and convert members of your guard. And slay other ones.
We had to put down a couple in our fight with Elspeth.
Yeah.
A couple of old comrades.
So what? So Heron's Grace is, I think I said, like an hour or so outside of town. So, and what you also know, I forgot, there's a hell of a storm bearing down on you guys. Like you can kind of picture when you were in wolf form, Ulrich, that like the hair on the base of your neck was all up, because you could just feel like when you're in that form, you do embrace the or gain access to like the animalistic senses, and you can just feel a hell of a thunderstorm is about to come, pounding down on this region.
I mean,
all right.
Unfortunately, this is not a very good place to take shelter for the night.
Well, let's make our way to the monastery then, and hopefully we can
face the storm.
Well, and find out what may have happened here.
Okay. So you guys, is there anything else you want to do in Heronkirk before you head out to? I'll go to the street to Heronkirk just because this is a pretty cool map. Oh, do you have... give me a sec, Dave. I think you may not have sight. Boom. There you go. Can you see now?
Nope.
If you scroll down?
Well,
maybe. Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. So there's you guys. You are all... I'll move you up just a scooch here. Oh, there we go.
So you're saying the town has been decimated then, Kev? Or are there still like remaining structures?
It is a disaster.
Yeah, everything.
All burnt to the ground.
You can see on the ground there are scorched and shattered remains that looked like this. Those things last session rose and attacked our heroes. No doubt, thanks to the foul magics of Elspeth Falkenrath, but... So what are you guys going to do?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah, head to the monastery.
Okay.
I will say one last prayer over the dead as we can see them, and hope that will be enough until we can send people back and give them a proper burial.
This is the amount of time it will take to give proper last rites to, a town of several hundred is crazy.
Yeah, like we would need like a small army to dig them out of the burning buildings and maybe bring them all to the cathedral or something.
Yeah, we'll have to bring people back here
Okay.
to help with the cleanup. We can't handle this ourselves.
Okay. So you guys, get your horses. Sigmund is just going to be remarkably quiet for the session because Steve unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. Sigmund saddles up as well too, and Ulrich, do you just travel in like wolf form or something like that? Or so I figured. So Dave, why don't you give us a cool description of how you summon mist?
So I will summon the horse, Mist, who is a geist. And as the portal opens up in the ground and she jumps up through the ground into the air, I'll grab onto the reins and basically have her appear like underneath me and I'm almost into the saddle as she fully materializes.
That's awesome. So this thing rides up, and I think that it does not disturb because it's a white geist. It doesn't disturb the other horses. It's it isn't where they would normally be startled by the unnatural. The soothing kind of nature of white geists is
has a positive effect on them.
Yeah, and speaking of which, let's just take a look at that. This is the one that you guys encountered last time.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, it takes you riding out of Heronkirk. It takes you about an hour, and you can start to feel like at times the hard blown wind, like those hard first ice cold pellets that come from at the start of a thunderstorm.
Yeah,
you're being pelted by those, basically as you're making your way through the winding road that leads through the foothills up to the Heron's Grace monastery. And you finally reach the gates of the monastery as the first hard drops of rain are beginning to fall. You reach the gates, and they're, of course, sealed. And I don't think, Magdalena, do you have Detect Magic prepared as a Orison? I don't know if you've got, I can't remember what your Orisons are. Detect Fiendish Presence, not Detect Magic, no.
No.
Okay, so what what Sigmund will say for you is as he rides up, he gestures at the runes that are in the shape of the that mark of Avacyn, which is like an inverted omega kind of, and he gestures and says they still have power.
Can you activate them to protect the town?
The monastery, they are active.
Oh, right. The ones at the monastery.
They still are active. It's not like the
unlike the ones in town, which were
destroyed.
Yeah. So you reach this and the door.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, the door is the smaller door inside the large gate is shut. What do you guys do? You're beginning to feel wet.
Would there be a method to approach the monastery? Like, do we knock? Do we?
You can just knock, and I think Magdalene has been here before too. She actually knows.
They'll know me, so I'll dismount and dismiss my mount.
Okay.
Rickard will bang on the door, but like let you
bam, to
be seen. Yeah.
So there's a bit of a wait, and then you see it's, and by a bit I mean like 10-minute wait, and then so you keep having to knock, and at first you get to the point where you're a little concerned, and then you hear a shock, and there is a face inside that kind of, or really just a set of eyes that looks out. Who are you? What do you want?
Magdalena, priestess of Avacyn, and my comrades, we seek shelter.
Priestess of Avacyn? What? Well, hold. I'll check with the abbess, and you the slot closed.
I'll say the abbess's name because I knew who it was.
Yeah, it's Agatha.
Agatha.
So
Mother Agatha will know.
And you see he sort of pauses as you say that and goes back and says, "Who are you?"
Magdalena, cleric of Avacyn, and my companions. We just rode hard through the terrible weather. Would you let us in?
Where did you come from?
What's the name of the town again?
Heronkirk.
Yeah. From the new ruins of Heronkirk, we need to speak to Mother Agatha forthwith.
Wait, he stops. He says, "You've been to Heronkirk, then?"
Oh, what's left of it?
Wait there, and closes it. By the time that you get a response from it, it's probably another like 10 minutes again. So it's been about 20 minutes we've been waiting out here. The rain is really starting to fall right now. The full fury of the storm has not hit yet, but you can feel like it's minutes before it comes pounding down on you. Finally, the door, you hear the chunk of some big heavy board being slid aside, and then the door is creaked open, and there is a excuse me, a man dressed in long white robes with the marks of what do you call it, of Avacyn on them. And let's see here, is this what he looks like? Yeah, this is sort of what he looks like. So he looks more like a lay priest. He has that spear in his hand as well. And he says,
"Took your time.
The Mother Agatha will want to speak to you." And he sort of gestures in. Come on, come.
Thank you.
So you guys make your way. Let's.
Is there somewhere to put the horses, or we bring them in, or?
He will actually take care of them. There's someone else there as well, also armed with a spear. And this is what you see as you make your way in. So as you can see, the road up passes this fairly sprawling graveyard on your right, and there's a thick mist that kind of hangs over it. Well, I know it doesn't because it's raining right now, so it's beginning to get obscured by the pounding rain. And you find yourself, after turning over the horses to the other acolyte, the other one leads you up to the door, and by the time you get to the door, you're basically all running to try and get to there and get in on time.
You know, Ulrich wouldn't be. He actually really enjoys this weather. Like, it doesn't bother him at all.
Nice. Okay, cool. So he's walking along. So you're going to be the last one going in. You hear the thundering clap of thundering thunder. Fucking A+ DMing
It was a thunderous clap of thunder.
The clack of thunder sounds almost like it's a hungry and feral thing that is snapping at your heels. But in spite of that, you being the apex predator that you are, you look back at the storm and continue, striding along. So you're the last to reach the door, where the door is thrown open and everyone sort of comes in. And as you all sort of make your way inside, it's clear that you've been brought in kind of like the servant's entrance, if you will, like not the one that is not there to impress, to impress people with the beauty and the fine details of the monastery. It's there because you're part of the church. And you're given a place to sort of like hang your wet clothes, or like your outer garments at least. And then you are led into a small study. And it's not a very, it is ornate, but in an understated way. Like the amount of accoutrements and religious paraphernalia that are in this place, along with the big, shelves of books and whatnot, they're all clearly works of devotion, or like objects of devotion, rather than like displays of wealth, if that makes sense. And the acolyte who leads you guys in there says, please, have a seat. The Mother Agatha will be with you shortly. Well, we will bring food and drink. And you can hear, by this point, Ulrich, you've come in and joined everyone else as well. You can hear the sound of the rain hammering against the window outside, as if it's like trying to break its way in. And the sound of thunder is so loud that it's seeming to to reverberate in each of your chests as well, with each clap. The flashes are so bright that it seems as if daylight outside, when the lightning flashes and then suddenly is plunged back into darkness, and sound of the rolling thunder and the pounding rain. It's about 5 minutes before someone else comes in. What would you guys do in that time? What do you think your characters would be doing?
Rickard would definitely be saying something to Magdalene, like, wow, they sure take their time here at the monastery.
Well, it's a rather large building, and likely at this hour, Mother Agatha is not somewhere easily accessible. She's probably in her own private chambers. So,
Fair enough.
Ulrica's probably wandering around the room that they're in, either looking at the religious relics or trinkets, turning them over in his hand, just kind of just generally investigating the space.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the stuff you're finding, it's fairly typical of what it's what you would expect of a monastery, and if this particular monastery, I think that Magdalena, you knew this, as did Sigmund, and Sigmund he'll serve the role of exposition grandma for now, because he's got a pretty good knowledge, like a good collection of knowledge things. Heron's Grace Monastery is like the most holy place to the host of Herons. It's a place devoted towards them, built by them, supported by them. And the host of Herons is the flight of angels that sort of focus on like the hearth and protection and things like that. Whereas, say, was it the Bright Blades? The Gold Knight, the host of Gold Knight, they're more battle. Like, they take up arms against the dark. They fight the dark things. So this is more the types of things you're seeing are like, a mother caring for a child, or like orphans being fed. Like that is sort of more the theme of the different religious artifacts, as opposed to like, a burning blade taken up by a winged woman against a demon or something like that. After 5 minutes, the door opens and in walks someone who looks like this. Not carrying a hammer, mind you, but with the full headdress, the long white robes, and the markings of the holy symbol of Avacyn on them. This woman is probably in her she's probably in her late 50s, mid to late 50s, and she has she carries herself like someone who is still like full of vim and vigor, and she has a stern kind of cast to her face. She walks in and she sees you, Magdalena, and she gets a bit of almost like a sorrowful smile, like you would maybe think for a moment, like a pitying glance, and then says, "Magdalena, my child, how good to see you again."
I wish it was under better terms. Today has been a sorrowful day. I almost can't rid myself of it.
I am sorry. I hear that you have been to Heronkirk.
What happened there?
No. We saw the conflagration, the smoke, but when we reached the town, it seemed nothing remained. It was, with the storm coming, we did not remain. When did you arrive?
Only just hours ago. We were in pursuit of a vampire who'd taken this, and I pull out the Tears of Avacyn.
Censer of Tears.
The Censer of Tears.
And let's see, Dave, I don't think you have the benefit of seeing this. This was the Censer of Tears, a holy relic said to contain a single tear that Avacyn wept when the highest-ranking priestess in the Church of Avison bore her first child.
Would I give that back here, perhaps, to safer keeping?
The safest place is where it was, which, or you would have thought, which was a reliquary. The reliquary, like, basically, it's kind of like a divine arsenal. You know, the tears, the censer of tears is so powerful that it's sort of locked away for safekeeping, to be honest.
Right, and which is probably where we were conscripted or hired to return it to.
Exactly, that's where you were intending to return it. Was back to where you guys in I can't remember the name of the main town is, but that city, Theron, or something like that. I don't know. I should have printed a copy of that map as well as had this one. But what she says, she looks at it and she says, that's the censer of tears. A vampire took that?
The vampire stole it, and we recovered it.
Have things grown so bad across Innistrad that vampires can take the holiest of relics from the vaults of the church?
So it would seem.
It appears it's not really safe anywhere. We need to return it, but something else has occurred that may cause us to delay. We thought we'd seek shelter here, but perhaps we could also seek your guidance.
You're welcome at our shelter, though it is not safe to travel in a storm such as this. These bring with them darker things than just foul weather. It won't be Ulrich, but Magdalena, do you have any ranks in knowledge planar? Knowledge planar?
No.
No. Okay. Where is Sigimonde?
Exposition Grandma?
Exposition Grandma may be able to help you out with this. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, this is just for your edification. It's not going to affect the game one way or the other. But I think there are certain kinds of geists that are known to haunt and fuel the worst storms. So yeah, I mean, like it's really, and when the storms really hit like this is something beyond what a natural storm could be. It's the kind of spooky storm you see in horror movies. It's the kind of thing that is a once in a century storm in the real world, but in an Innistrad. When the mood strikes the geists, it can nearly, it can basically like leave you unable to travel anywhere.
Right, and we can probably tell that it is a supernatural.
For sure, yeah.
Level, yeah, okay.
These storms have been growing more and more frequent over the last few months. No doubt connected, perhaps, with the disappearance of Avison.
Yes, not surprising.
So, so she says, yeah, she says, of course you're free to travel. And what else did you, sorry, Dave, I forgot. What was the other thing you asked?
I was just telling her that things have changed, that something's happened. The host of herons that perished with the members of the clergy and the people in the town of Heronkirk didn't just die by accident.
Would you guys each make a insight check for me, please? So go on your character sheet, click on insight, no modifiers, and just go ahead and roll.
I do my character sheet.
Insight.
So there will be a pop-up, Dave. I think this is the first time you've used this. There'll be a pop-up that'll be asking you for modifiers. Just hit no modifiers.
Insight?
You mean perception?
No. Well, it's called sense motive in this. Forgive me. Sense motive.
Oh, sense motive. Yeah, okay. How many different games?
Whoa! Holy smokes. Magdalena.
What happens if you don't have sense motive, Kev?
You still should be able to click on it.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
We'll just use the raw.
Yeah, there's only the only thing that the only skills you cannot use untrained are like disable device and knowledge skills.
Okay. Modifier?
0. Okay. So you mentioned that stuff, and Magdalena and Rickard, you can see that there's a look of near panic that crosses Mother Agatha's face. And she quickly tries to recover and compose herself. But you can tell that she was a little surprised that you knew about the burned heron, the burned host of heron, or the dead host of heron angel.
Do you know how she died?
She looks. She said, "I did not know that that she did die. What? How do you know that?"
I saw it. I felt it. It was almost like I was there.
That's unthinkable.
I
What do you mean you were there?
may have allowed a white geist to interact with me, and it was the priest, one of the priests,
Yeah.
within the church, and it's like he wanted me to experience what they experienced.
She says, "What? And did you experience what they experienced?"
The fear, the pain. Yes. It was one of our own. A burning blade sent a ball of fire into the cathedral, destroyed everyone.
Magdalena and Rickard, you see her. She again looks incredibly disturbed, and then quickly tries to forgive. She's like, "That's unthinkable."
I thought the same. They're our sisters. Why would they do that? But the look of satisfaction on her face as people died was plain enough. I've seen that on the battlefield.
You saw this.
I saw this as though I was in the church at the time that it happened. I could feel the heat. I could feel the pain and the burning sensation as everyone around me was screaming. It was terrible. I would never wish anyone to feel that.
She kind of looks, that's... Are you sure it was a white geist? The blue and black can be such tricksters.
I summon a white geist horse. I know the energy. I used the power of the white, what do we call it? Spheres?
Mana.
No. White mana?
Yeah.
I know what it would feel like.
So her eyes are sort of darting around the room as if trying to collect her thoughts. And she says, it's so much harm and so much pain so fast. I don't doubt that this has been a terrible, terrible night for you, as it has been for me and the rest of the monastery. We will afford you room in one of the cells. You will each have a cell to stay in. Our brothers and sisters will happily provide the rooms for you. And please feel free to the library, the chapel. They are at your disposal. If you need find comfort in in Avison, Magdalena, please feel free to make use of the chapel, and otherwise, perhaps things will seem brighter in the morning.
Well, we greatly appreciate your hospitality, and we are gladdened to see that nothing bad has happened here to you.
Our doors at the Heaven's Grace are ever open to the servants of Avison.
Oh, and I'll point out that the shields, or the whatever they're called, the protective
The glyphs?
Glyphs, yeah. Wards.
The wards were destroyed at
Herrinkirk.
It wasn't so much that they were destroyed, it was that they did not have power.
They were just dim.
Yeah.
So we'll just point that out to her.
She looks, and you sense this.
Yes, we could sense this.
That is concerning. I will pray on it. Please, enjoy our hospitality. What meager things we can offer. And at that point, there's probably some monks have brought in some food, and it's not like anything special, but it certainly is warm, and it will satisfy you. I will bid you good night. The grace of Avison be with you. And she leaves. And she says, and again, Magdalena, it is good to see you, even under such circumstances.
Thank you, Mother.
Would you guys make a, let's see here, Ulrich and Rickard both make a sense motive check again, please. Nice.
Oh.
No.
So good.
Ulrich, you get the sense that this abbess, the Mother Agatha, that she's placed a curse on Magdalena. Oh, you get a nat 1. You just failed. Never mind. That's way too extreme. If it was a nat 1, that would totally be appropriate. But okay, so you cast Purify and bless food on the food that was brought. And what does a prayer look like as you're sort of, as you're saying your, I guess, prayer?
Well, it'll just be like, by the grace of Avison, bless this food that we're about to receive, so that it might nourish our bodies and help us against the forces that we keep at bay in the night.
Love it.
And then it's actually purify food and drink, so it'll just make sure that we're about to see.
Nice. I think it's in, you know what? If you go to your character sheet under the spells tab, I think the full thing's there. You can just click on it. If I filled it out, I actually should. I know I did that for one of the characters. I just don't remember if I did it for Magdalena. Did I? It's your spells. Yes! Sweet. Fuck, look at that. Hot diggity damn. Okay.
So yeah, it's just a cantrip, but it makes sure that whatever I eat is...
Yeah, no, I love it. So everyone's food is... and that's a clever way to hide it as well, too. So yeah. Does it get rid of poisons?
Yeah, it does.
It does. You can't give me any fun, All right, so the food is as it smells. It's nourishing, and I mean, otherwise it's what do you call it? It's nourishing and satisfying, if not terribly opulent. You're feeling, I think, I don't know. You guys tell me. How do you think your characters are feeling right now? Having seen what you saw, feeling, hearing the wrath of the storm outside. What's going through your minds?
A little bit shaken, but also extremely relieved to be here and not in Herrenkirk, and that everything is okay here. So I think there's quite a lot of relief actually for Rickard.
Okay.
He feared the worst.
Mm-hmm. What you, Magdalena?
As she was telling the story, she was starting to worry that the carefully constructed, belief system that she has, and who's her allies and who are not, is crumbling with the lack of Avacyn's presence.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's just like, I trust you, or I've trusted you in the past, but if the Herons once trusted their sisters and they've betrayed them, then where does it end?
Yeah. No, fair enough. Yeah, that would be troubling.
She's actually thinking about going somewhere and casting Detect Fiendish Presence to make sure that this monastery is as pure as it's supposed to be.
Sure. Ulrich, what about you?
I mean, Ulrich was disturbed by what he had seen in Herrenkirk, but certainly not to the extent that his two companions are. Ulrich has spent a lot of time in the wild, and it's not uncommon for him to have seen, and maybe not in this fashion, but certainly raiding parties that had gone through hamlets or towns that had wrought the same kind of devastation.
Sure.
So he's, I mean, there's a sadness about it for him that it's happened, but he also sees it as just kind of part of life.
Yeah.
But more than that, the weather is actually giving him inner strength and fortitude. And the more tempestuous the weather, the stronger he feels inside him.
So is he at the window then, kind of like, staring wistfully outside at the stuff?
Yeah, he's kind of itching to go back outside, which he understands that most other people find this really, really bizarre.
Yep.
So it's if for anybody who's watching close enough, they might catch Ulrich casting a wistful glance out the window, or trying to get closer to the outdoors, but without making it look obvious.
Sure. Would you give me a perception check, please? No modifiers. Interesting. So what you see, hold on, I gotta find where is my ultimate intrigue? There it is. I just as a quick aside too, so these are the pocket editions of the Pathfinder books, and I love these more than I could, like, just for the tactile reason. I'll be able to grab these tiny little books and read through them is just never any source of joy for me. It's such a fucking easily amused bibliophile. All right. So the what you see as you're staring out into that, you can picture you're standing face, about a foot away from the tempered glass that makes up the this window. It's little panes of glass. It's not like one giant pane. It's smaller panes of glass that are held in like an iron or a wrought iron frame to make this very intricate window. And it's fine iron. It's not like a fucking gate that happens to have glass in it. It is quite attractive. Though outside the rain is hitting and streaking down. It's falling so heavily that it's as if someone is continually throwing buckets of water against the window, so you can barely see outside. What you notice from geographically where this would be looking out into would be the graveyard. The sprawling graveyard full of standing mausoleums and tombs from the members of the monastery who had passed in generations now gone. But what you see in amongst the darkness of that, after your eyes are adjusting from the flash of light back into the pitch blackness, waiting for the next blinding, brilliant light from above, you can see soft red light dancing somewhere in the graveyard. You think maybe, Ulrich, that your eyes are playing tricks on you. It's just after images, but you stare at them and stare at them. Poof, the next flash comes. Your eyes are blinded for a moment. The deep rumble, thunder rolls over and through you. But looking out, you see it there. There's definitely something moving. It's not a torch. It's something glowing, red, and twisting. You can't otherwise make out the shape because of the distance and the water streaking down the outside of this. But that's what you see out there. What are you doing?
I'll call Rickard and Magdalene to the window.
Sure, guys. Give me a each of you give me a perception check, will you? I'll give you a +2 to each of you as a modifier from aiding another, thanks to Ulrich.
+2. Come on.
That's assuming you guys come over and take a look.
Yep.
Holy shit. Yeah, Rickard and Magdalena, you guys both see the exact same thing.
Sorry, Rickard, I'm not trying to outdo you here. Just roll 20's doing all that.
So you guys both get over there. You look out, and now you can see that there's this. It's faint, and you can't make out any detail from it, but there's some red glow deep out there in the tempest amongst the gravestones.
Ulrich will say to both of them, "You both can stay here, but I'm going out there to take a look." And without waiting for them to answer, he turns on his heel, and more as an excuse to be outside. Yeah. He prepares to throw the door open.
Okay.
I follow.
Okay.
Yeah,
If there's any danger to this monastery whatsoever, I will stop it.
Fair enough. Let us go.
Okay, give me 2 seconds here, guys.
No, we go now. Go now.
TM, we want to go now. Oh, you know what? Let me check something here. I wonder.
I'm kind of liking these characters and this adventure and what's going on. So somebody please donate and say you want this to continue.
I can't tell you how pleased I am that you guys are enjoying the session this much too.
That's awesome.
It was a pleasant surprise to be have a second second session out of it.
Viewers at home, I hope you're enjoying the role playing because I'm freaking loving it.
That's great. Me too. Nothing does my DM's heart prouder than players who are loving and these are pre-gens too. Like these are not.
We didn't create these characters.
No. Okay, so this might not be sized properly here. So let's just see something here.
So if I create a cleric and then alternate levels with cavalier.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's just as I'm setting this thing up, like the ability to make such unique characters, is really one of the strengths of the Pathfinder system, right? Like it's pretty fucking cool just how different a character you can make. This is mechanically each of these characters has a really very specific kind of thing about them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is one of the powers of the system.
Yeah, definitely.
It's huge.
Yeah, so for those listening at home too, I will say that I apologize for starting so late tonight too. We got caught up in a pre-session conversation amongst the players and DM. talking about our next campaign, and one of the major points of discussion was just how much fun we all had in the first session of this. Dave didn't because he didn't love us, but also because Dave's a responsible father and actually spent time with his children instead of hanging out with us losers. But
while you're still kind of calling stuff up, when Ulrich uses Wild Shape, is it a waste if he uses it for, let's say, anything short of the full 7 hours a day?
Well, no. So here's the cool thing about your Wild Shape is that's a good question. So the class you're playing is one called a Shifter, and a Shifter came from a supplement called Ultimate Wilderness, and it almost immediately got an errata because the one as written was not great. It was very limited and whatnot. You can split up your number of hours. You just need to spend 1 hour. It just has to be in 1 hour increments. 1 hour increments. So once you use it, you just got to use your be in that wild shape for an hour, and then you like whether you spend 10 minutes or whether you spend 59 minutes in it, it takes up an hour's worth of the 7 that you can spend.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll also let you shift between Dire Wolf and Dire Bat freely during that period.
Okay.
Because that's, it's, changing.
A lot of that flavor, in a way.
It's really like, it's not I don't see a huge penalty in like making you use up another hour to change from a bat to a wolf in one scene seems kind of silly.
Especially if what you're using it for is like creative flair of storyline, not
totally. Yeah.
Not mechanical advantage.
No. And I mean, I'm not worried about you guys. That's the thing that I guess is always a good reminder about games like this too, is like any concern that I ever have about, balance or whatever else too. Like I'm the DM. I can come up with something to kill you guys if I really want to. Like,
right. Well, that seems broken. Okay, well, now you're,
Yeah, oh, geez, what am I going to do? Oh, that's right. I'm in charge of the world, so I guess I'll just do this. Give me one second. I'm trying to
Tarask? What's a Tarask?
Tarask. There's actually a badass. I'm just trying to find one thing here. There's a thing in Starfinder that I can't remember the name of right now, but basically imagine like a kaiju that you could shoot from space that's a devil that then kills a planet.
Yeah.
I think it's actually like it's a host body for like other smaller devils and undead and shit like that.
Hey, there's a Tarask in Roll20.
Yeah, oh yeah, there definitely is. In both the 5e and the Pathfinder what do they call them? Compendiums. All right, where is it here? I want.
It has advantage on saving throws and spells and other magical effects, and 3 times a day, if it fails a saving throw, it can just choose to succeed.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Oh, that'll work. Okay. Boom. All right, sorry about that, guys. Okay, so the let me move you guys over to the graveyard. Boom. So here we go, guys. Let's zoom in.
Only does 4d12 plus 10 damage with a bite, though.
Is that in 5e or in Pathfinder?
I don't know. I'm just looking in the Roll20 compendium for Tarask. I should just get out of there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Because the Tarask in Pathfinder does 4d8 plus 15 and crits on a 15 to 20 and does times 3 on crits. It's bonkers dangerous. Okay, so anyway, you're just making me salivate with the possibility of using a Tarask. So this is sort of, you guys are walking into the graveyard from here. It's over here is where that red glow is coming from. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to the light. Magdalena, I've assumed that you have once again cast light on the end of your spear. and it's kind of shining out. Now, Dave, the way that your ability works, your claws thing, is that if you choose to use your shifting ability, what is it here? Shifter aspect, of which you can use 8 minutes per day. You can choose one of the two aspects to gain, the bat or the wolf, and the wolf is the one that gives you dark vision. So you'd actually see in the dark, and also have your claws accessible.
Yeah, I think let's do that.
Okay, then let me give you some dark vision here.
And just a note about Ulrich. As well as constantly fighting to heed the call to be within nature, he also struggles to control his desire to actually be in animal form.
Love it.
He feels far more comfortable in that form rather than his man form.
So that's fucking cool. The way I was sort of picturing him, because werewolves, and Dave, actually, you missed our first session, so you missed the sort of spiel about Innistrad. Innistrad is a land of gothic horror. It is a land of vampires and werewolves and ghosts and mad scientists. It's every, classic gothic movie, universal monster movie kind of thing, personified. And I sort of pictured your character not necessarily being a lycanthrope, but someone who is, blessed with very, very similar type powers, infused with green mana, which is the mana of nature. And there we go. Okay, so now can you guys only see? I'm gonna alter Ulrich here. What I've done is I've changed each of your characters so you're only in control of your character. I'm gonna give Ulrich dark vision, and then it should be so only he can see that. Guys, Ulrich, you can see there. Let me see here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's
all I see is the light of Magdalene's torch. That's what you're
so
asking.
good, so good.
Yeah.
Alt L.
And the screen caps that Dave is sending me on my phone.
Cheat.
I'm just kidding. Of course he's not. Now that he's heard that idea, he might.
Oopsies. I hit the wrong thing.
Is this what you want, Jeff? Okay. Except I can't do it. It would have to be other ways.
Yeah.
Because I don't have your cell or messenger or any kind of communication method other than email.
Okay, so you guys can only see what Magdalena's light is. I'm going to test one thing here, just because I want to see if I did this correctly. Jeff, did you lose all light?
Yep. Literally everything. All I see is my own head.
Boom. Okay. Give me guys, I'm sorry. Just give me 2 minutes here. I need to go to the washroom again. I drank way too much coffee before tonight's session. You guys can strategize. How do you want to approach this red light?
I don't know. Get my 20s out.
Baby bladder, baby bladder, baby bladder, baby bladder. Oh wait, I mean, Kev's not here for everybody in YouTube land to know that he's got a baby bladder, but
it's actually old man bladder now.
Old man bladder, right? So let's not strategize. Let's just talk about how many times Kev's gone to the bathroom tonight. This is at least twice since 8:30.
Can we split the difference and maybe call it an old baby bladder?
Oh,
yes,
old baby bladder.
Old baby bladder. I like it.
Although,
what are people? Is anybody watching the chat? Maybe somebody in YouTube has a better idea.
Oh no, I didn't open the.
I'm going to go to the chat now.
Maybe we're being presumptuous. Maybe, I mean, we say it's an old baby bladder, but what if it's just a bad case of dysentery?
Well, I could blame mine on the rye and Slurpee.
Yeah.
Let's go to the live chat.
I believe they refer to that as ryorrhea.
Ryorrhea? Yeah, I don't have any ryorrhea. And I haven't broken the seal yet either, so.
Well,
No.
somebody's a
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, no good. No problem.
Okay, so what are we thinking here?
Well, Magdalena was thinking she's going to cast Detect Evil. And while it's only cone-shaped, it wouldn't take much for her to concentrate on it and look around.
Yeah.
Because the range is 60 feet. So even if she can't see that far, she can at least...
Oh, the Detect Evil or Detect Fiendish Presence?
Detect Evil, first level cleric spell.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead and click on Detect Evil. I think. Oh, you got it right there. Yeah. All right, cool. So concentration up to 10 minutes. Now, let me think here for a second. Oh boy, Detect Evil. Evil. That's an interesting question.
Traps and
Opposing
poisons and stuff are not evil.
Yeah. So what's the range of cone-shaped emanation of 60 feet?
Yeah, so I just got to pan my head, look around in different directions as I walk.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So start right now from where you are. You can detect nothing.
Because it will only go through a foot of stone.
I'm going to test one thing here. One sec here. Let's see.
So if I walk like this, it goes different. It would. I don't know how thick that stone is, but.
Okay.
So when she casts this, she'll call on the power of Avacyn to guide her and, flush out the enemies that may lurk in hiding.
Sure. So the I guess other issue here is that the rain is pounding down so hard that it's really obscuring a lot of your vision. And
I don't think she has to actually see it. I think she just has to be within.
No.
It
doesn't. I'm just giving you some idea of how far you can see, because I'm going to ask for a perception check from everybody as well.
Okay.
Shit.
And to be honest, you can still see the faint glow beyond those gates. So right around here is where that light is coming from.
I couldn't really see the pink. Can you ping again?
Sure. Yeah, I'll put in closer. It's over and off in this direction and beyond those gates. Now, I think that if I'm right, Magdalena and Rickard, you can't even see that far, but Ulrich, you can, right?
I couldn't see the ping either because I was too zoomed in. But
okay.
I'm zooming out here.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
And for Jeff and Dave, is that where I'm pinging? Is that in darkness for you?
Oh yeah. Unless you're pinging the building we're beside on the left or the right.
Yeah.
I can't see anything.
To be honest, Kev, I can't see the ping either.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, guys. I'm a dummy. I'm on the DMs later. Can you see it now, guys?
Okay, now I can see a ping. Red ping? Yeah.
And is it in darkness or is it in...
It's in the shadows.
Ulrich, how about you? What do you see?
No, Ulrich can make out generally what's in that area.
Interesting. Okay. What do you guys want to do? Magdalena, your concentration will continue on until I say otherwise. The rain is pounding down. You guys are all drenched from this wave of water that's coming down too. The thunder, when it comes after the lightning crash as well too, is so much worse outside. It's almost deafening. In fact, I'm going to do... It's a very easy one, but Magdalena, would you kindly give me... I don't know if it's on your character sheet. Is there a concentration place or under your spells maybe? Under the spells tab, is there yeah, there is. Sweet. If you click on concentration, please.
Concentration?
Yeah. Under spellcasting, you see there's
Yep.
Yeah, just roll that, please. Oh, now one.
That one. I wish I had some inspiration of some kind to.
Yeah, unfortunately,
boost me from
that one. Oh. So what happens is that you begin concentrating on this, and you've said your invocation to Avacyn to flare, and what are the components for that spell? Actually, I wonder.
I can go back to the spell here.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at. Actually, it doesn't say components. It doesn't say verbal.
Verbals,
You may not need to do anything.
verbal, semantic, and Dave Forche.
Is that under? Where am we? I'm looking at.
I'm looking on my character sheet.
Oh, on your character sheet. Okay, cool. All right, so then yeah, you do actually say something, and I have to gesture, and there's a flare of, in the shape of the symbol of Avacyn, and you're detecting, and then there's this fucking first crash of thunder you hear outside is so loud it actually disrupts your concentration.
Okay.
And you lose the spell. It's been a long day for this has been a pretty fucking traumatic day. So I imagine that your nerves are frayed ends at this point.
Well,
So-
yeah, and I'm going to give you some insight into Rickard's mind. He is totally picturing a flaming red sword as what's over there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't seem to, be like that. It's a.
No, I'm not saying that that's what it is. I'm saying that's what he's, because of what happened earlier.
Oh, that's what he's seeing.
what-
Yeah. Maybe his mind.
And what Magdalen's been describing, that's what he's imagining is over there.
I love it. Anyone who has, actually Magdalena in particular, I'm going to let you make a knowledge religion check, please.
Knowledge, religion.
Oh,
We're seeing the swing.
yeah, definitely.
These are the hills and valleys of Roll20, folks.
Yes, really.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the way a D20 works, eh?
Not the ones I roll in that are made of plastic, but sure.
Yeah. So here's what you can hear the thunderstorm and whatnot crashing, and you see that red glow out there, and it dawns on you that what you could be seeing is, there is probably a number of different things, but the red floating and seemingly drifting lights that you're seeing, it seems to have you can't tell what the form is, but it seems as if it's got a distinct kind of form to it. It's not like flickering, flashing lights. It's a glowing thing.
Like a consistent glow.
Yeah. And you remember that we had discussed how there are different geists that seem aligned or suffused with different kinds of mana.
Yeah.
There is the white mana that suffuses more often than not benevolent geists. There are black mana infused geists that are hateful and violent, murderous even. There are blue geists, which seem to be personifications of madness and despair. And there are geists suffused with red mana, fiery, potent fuel of life, and infernal, not infernal, but infernal in the sense of fiery, pyromantic, geists of fury. Poltergeists.
Yeah.
It would be with a nat 20. I'll even give you more because that's just, you've really clearly, was in your wheelhouse. You can even, I think, maybe feel a bit like there's a little flutter of emotion you're picking up from this thing. You're so connected with the spiritual realm that you feel it, hit you, and it's a feeling of fury. Something is angry out there, but it is, it's not, I don't know, it does not have that angelic connection that you would think.
I let them know there's an angry Geist out here. There's entity of rage that is ready to unleash.
What are you guys doing?
I move towards it. In the direction.
How dangerous would a red Geist be, in my knowledge?
Why don't you give me a knowledge religion check, please?
I know.
Can I say I love these character sheets too? Holy shit!
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of guys, it really depends. I mean, it is more likely to be dangerous. So a poltergeist are human spirits motivated by fury, sometimes return as red-aligned geist. These are often the spirits of people whose corpses were raised by ghoul callers or who die in states of fury. That's what you know.
Could it be a Geist from I forget the name already. I really typed it.
Herrenkirk?
Herrenkirk that has followed us here? Magdalena?
It could be. So Magdalena, what
I'm asking her.
Yeah, with the nat 20, Magdalena, what would the thing that tends to spurn? Well, I guess like for one, a poltergeist could have been created by the the actions of Elspeth Falconrath. She was a ghoul caller, and spirits can be disquieted when their corporeal remains are forced back to life and suffused with black mana. However,
so it's possible
that would have been, even a red Geist would likely have been, unless it was phenomenally powerful or unless the wards have gone down, it would be held at bay by the wards. And somehow this thing is inside the gates. It's in that graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh, so this would be something that was here already.
So, or somebody has raised it here.
Right.
Somebody within the grounds has done something that they should.
So basically, you just remind me that a Geist from
Herrenkirk wouldn't have made it
would
past
not
the
have
wards.
been able to. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
So while it's possible that this was done by the vampire, this is more likely something that's developed within the wards.
Well, let us go see.
So if Magdalena is actually approaching head on, Ulrich will double time it and loop through the trees and flank from behind.
Okay.
Are you coming, Rickard?
Yeah, Rickard will just stay beside you. Okay. My character sheet's covering the map.
Okay.
I'll stay in your light.
I was trying to find a. They've unfortunately cut. One not cut. They've lost the license to one of the sound things that I've used for a couple of years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like it's a whole new set of. It's kind of cool. Like there's some neat new audio features that we've gotten here that include like sound effects. And you can upload stuff as well now too, so that is kind of cool as well. Oh, mama! Here we go. What's this? Yes! Hot damn!
Yeah, when the DM makes those sounds, I get nervous.
Check this out, guys.
Oh shit!
How cool is that?
Pretty good.
Oh man! So for those listening at home, what my players are hearing right now is this massive fucking thunder crash and sound of blowing wind. Oh god, this is cool. I really wish that I could find a way to make the audio stuff come through on the stream because it's pretty fucking cool.
No,
Isn't
I
it
was gonna
add a lot?
Yeah, I was going to point that out, Kev. I thought the last one that I watched, I could hear the audio.
Oh, maybe it's. You know, it could have been.
Differently.
It could have been Steve's. Because Steve never uses headphones, so it could.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Okay. So that's what we hear, guys. We are now in the elements. Wind blowing. What level is that guy on? Oh, so I've left him out. Okay, so Ulrich, you're the first one to see that. And drifting now, I've used that token to represent it. But this thing seems to be drifting. And you can picture here, guys, I don't have it on the map, but you can see there are rows and rows and rows of tombstones here. You know, this has been generations of monks and nuns who have served Avacyn faithfully in this monastery, and their mortal remains have been interred in this holy ground. But drifting over the ground here is a writhing red spectral form. Ulrich, you can see this clearly as soon as you get it within vision there. And this thing, it undulates between being a skeletal form and something in robes that seems to be sort of folding in on itself. And your hearing is keen enough, Ulrich, that it seems to be almost shouting in frustration over the sound of that crashing thunder. What are you doing?
What is its demeanor? I mean,
give me a sense motive check, please. Ooh. So that's what you can see. Is this thing again seems to be swirling? It's this vibrant red, translucent form that seems to be transforming at times into something skeletal, and then a human face that, and then twists back in on itself, and it's nothing for a moment, and then it seems to form back up, and its head kind of arcs up and goes around.
Well, you know what? Ulrich will approach.
Okay, and it seems to sort of sense you once you get within about 10 feet, well, to about 20 feet. Magdalena and Rickard, can you see where Ulrich is past those gates?
He just moved out of our light away from us. So
okay. So what he's seeing right here, guys, that's where that glow is coming from, to give you an idea of where.
Is this him?
This is Ulrich right here.
Yeah, he's just in our light now.
Oh yeah, okay. Now we can see him now.
We can move this way. We can.
Okay.
There's open gates here.
Yeah. Ulrich is substantially faster, I think, than you guys as well too. So why don't Ulrich, when you get there, this thing starts writhing around, you know, in a much faster and agitated manner. What is it you do? Do you just approach it, or do you say something? Do you gesture? What?
I'll approach it. I won't say anything.
Okay. So
wait, are you in wolf form?
Well, I'm in. I've got wild aspect.
So he's shifted form. He's probably got like some wolf, lupine features right now. His eyes maybe be yellow. His claws have lengthened. And he's got like a blackened, kind of like I sort of picture it as like a universal kind of like a monster, like classic Wolfman look, not like very full on wolf with a mouth and whatever else. More like the is it Lon Chaney who played the Wolfman? Lon Chaney Jr.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, that's an accurate kind of think of it. Yeah. Okay, so Ulrich, you get into there, and this thing is still. Once you are 10 feet away, what I need you to do is, could you click on your token? So you've got it selected.
Mm-hmm.
Then click on an initiative.
I knew that was coming.
All right, I'll roll initiative for this thing. For the poltergeist. Oof, I got 25. Let me add a turn.
Sorry, just trying to find where my initiative is exactly.
I think it's on the first page of your character sheet, top left.
Yep, found it.
Okay.
No modifiers?
No modifiers.
Poop.
I'll get Sigmund out of there. Whatever the initiative. Okay. And 27. Guys, you can roll initiative as well, too. We'll just get you in the order here. Remember to click on your character before you click on your on the token before you click on initiative.
Right. Yeah. Hold on. Is that right? Yep. Initiatize.
Nice.
Sometimes I gotta do shout outs to Steve, even if he's not here.
Yes.
Where the heck is it?
Here. What do you call it? The top left, I believe.
Oh,
Was I right about that, Dave?
Sorry?
Was I right about the location?
Yep.
It's just to the right of your wisdom score.
Great.
Yeah, I found it.
Okay, so you guys are about there. Can you see the poltergeist? Magdalena?
Nope.
Yes, it is like in a darker light.
Yeah, dim light.
It's in the shadowy
We can
area.
sort of see it. Yeah.
Okay, so let me see here. Now, what there is, because of the pounding rain, what might apply is concealment. And the way concealment works in Pathfinder is there's a percentage miss chance. Now, I think that the way, I don't remember this for sure, certain, but I think the way it's supposed to go is like you roll your attack and then you roll concealment to see whether it missed. That to me seems like, just psychologically, seems like the shitty way to go about it. What I think I'd rather do is have you roll concealment first, because like if you roll a hit and then you roll concealment and it's a miss, that takes away something from the player. Whereas if you roll concealment and you would have missed, then who gives a shit?
Right. Then don't roll your roll and be disappointed.
Yeah, just be done with it. Okay, so I'm going to give a 20% concealment chance here. Hold on, that might be wrong. Because it's your rain. I'm going to give a 10% concealment chance. That's not an actual rule, but I'm just going to do that for now. And then I'll look up the rules for heavy rain at another time. So what happens is this thing, you get within a certain distance, Ulrich, and this thing lashes out. It goes darting forward as if it was something, a leaping animal trying to get at you. It comes forward, and you can hear it, the sound of this thing screech over the sound of the pounding rain and the rolling thunder. Let's see here. This is going to be, because it acts before you, this will be against your flat-footed AC. So you got 3 different stats for your AC. You've got touch, you got flat-footed, and you've got your normal AC. You see that on there?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So this is against your touch. 14. Am I correct that misses?
So it needs to be below armor class.
This is above. This is so if I rolled if your touch AC is a 14 or higher, 14 or less, then I've hit. Otherwise, I have missed.
You have in fact hit.
Oh no! Oh shit! So this thing comes roiling in and attacks you. Give me 1 second. I think that this is fuck it.
Does it have a 10% miss chance too?
It does, and actually I rolled for it.
Cool.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's only got dark vision. Oh man. Okay, so here's what this thing has a disturbing aura to it. Like as soon as you got within 30 feet, Ulrich, because you're sort of part in your shifter state, you're not going to panic or anything, but there's something wholly unnatural and unnerving about this thing. You can know that just because you're tapping into that primal, those primal senses, that an animal would bolt in the same way that, like, how like it knows that an earthquake's going to happen, so it runs, or, it knows that a volcano is going to explode. That's what just this thing, if just radiates, is this feeling of wrong. Now, what I need you to do, so you're hit, which means you take 8 points of damage as this rakes across you, and I need you to make I think it's a fortitude save for me, please. Nice. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You know what? I have some news for you. And that news is that you are fine.
Yeah.
So as this thing hits you, you can feel it tearing. It tears at your flesh. So you take 8 points of damage, but you also can feel that it was ripping at basically your very being and trying to shred parts of you out in its, whirling fury. You fortunately resisted and remained intact. That is its action, guys. It's moved. It's taken a standard. Next up, Magdalena. So you can now see this thing out there. What are you doing?
She casts Spiritual Weapon.
Ooh, cool. Okay.
So Magdalena's holy symbol is in her right gauntlet that she holds the spear, which is a replica of what Avacyn used. And so she pounds the spear into the ground and calls on the power of Avacyn to grant her a weapon to smite her enemies. And a spear that looks very much like the one she's holding appears. It's a spear of force. Nice. And the range on that thing is...
Give me a second. I'm going to get that spear again. I should have let the damn thing out last time, but what are you going to do? Okay. Because that was actually a pretty helpful little spear last time, right?
Oh, yeah. I think it was great.
That was I think I ended up using that scythe as the thing, so I'll just do that again. Boom.
It was chasing guys that we couldn't catch.
Oh yeah, like he was able to make it go up in the sky.
It was awesome.
So yeah, the range is 150 feet.
Okay, there you go. You got the control over the token now, Magdalena. You go ahead and place it wherever you want.
Boom.
Nice. Oh, it's a flanking. Look who learned. Pretty awesome.
The flanking, the DM said is good for us.
Okay, so you get +2 from flanking. And the attack roll, because I was listening to last session, it's your basic attack, which is +4, plus your wisdom, which is +4. So it's +10 to hit. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
So I'm just going to use my spear, which is...
Hold on. Why don't you roll a d10 first? Let's roll for mischance. Or concealment, rather.
A d10 or...
Yeah, because if you roll... I mean, you can roll percentile too, but a d10 will... Or a d20. A d20, it'll be a roll of 1 or 2.
A 3. So 3 on a d20. I rolled a 3. We're good to go.
It's not actually showing up in my... Or are you rolling real dice?
No, I rolled it on the chat.
Oh, there, yeah, it showed up.
There it is. Oh, wow,
okay.
Was that delayed?
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
That was amazing.
So if I click on my spear, it has a +8. I just have to add a +2.
Yeah, that sounds good.
How did that come out?
How did that work?
How did I get a 0 with a
plus? Rolled a nat 1.
That doesn't make any sense.
How does it get a 0 though?
Yeah,
+6.
Well, it rolled a nat 1, so it really...
Yeah, so that's a miss anyway, but I guess that's...
The math doesn't work, folks.
Try clicking on it again. I just want to make sure that's not fucked up.
Okay, I'll just do no modifier this time and see.
Yeah. That worked.
8 plus 6 plus 2.
Did you hit
16,
plus twice? Because look, it's adding +2. It's got +2. I wonder
Maybe
if
that's just yeah.
I wonder if it fucked up the algorithm. That's why it came out, or the whatever the math is that it does. That's why it's 0.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it was a critical miss.
Okay. Well, yeah, nat 1's a nat 1. Okay, cool. So that appears, lashes out at this thing, and it does not find purchase. So as a standard action to cast a spell, it did the automatic attack on it. You still have a move or a swift if you want.
I will move.
Yep.
Papow. Hello. Yep. And I don't think I've got anything prepared for swift, so we're done.
Okay. I think that's actually more than you can move. Isn't your movement 20? Oh no, you could do it. You could do that. Ignore me. Okay. All right. So then next up is Ulrich. What are you doing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ulrich, well, using his Shifter's Claws,
Yeah.
will unleash a mythic power attack.
Ooh. So remember, so a power attack applies to whatever attacks you're making this round, and you can do 2 if you don't move. As a full round action, you can attack with both of them, which attack at the same rate.
Yes, let us do that.
Okay, go ahead. Now you have plus, your modifier will be, actually you'll have no modifier. You got -1 from the power attack, but you've got +2 because you're flanking. So the net is nothing. Just go ahead and roll your normal attacks.
That's actually not on my... Oh, yeah. So I've got Shifter's Claws here.
Yep. And it's what prompts for modifiers. Just click on 0, 0, 0.
Kev, I repositioned my character because I do only have a move of 20.
Oh, okay, okay. Weren't you one step ahead of? Were you one step ahead of Rickard, or were you even with?
Yeah,
him?
he
No,
was.
I was even with at the time.
Oh, okay,
Were you?
okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're serious. You're heavy armor. You're making your way forward.
Bonus of +2, Kev?
No. It's net to a 0 because you got -1, -2 when you use a power attack, and then +2 when you do a what do you call it? +2 because of the flanking, because of where the spiritual weapon is. Oh, holy smokes! All right, now what you do get to add is +6 to the damage because of your power attack. So one of these things, Dave, it fucking tears into this because of your enchanted claws. You tear into this thing like it's an actual being and rip part of its red mana fabric out of it. Yeah. Yowza. I forgot I could do that. That's so awesome. You're going to hit plus, like if you click on the token, guys, and you click on the circle, the color, you can hit plus whatever or minus whatever. I forgot about that.
Wait, what?
So like when I did damage, let me show you how. So like I'll add the health back in. What I can do, so on this thing, I clicked on the red circle, like where I'm tracking its health bar.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I set -16 because Dave did 16 points of damage, and boom, it automatically calculated.
Right. Okay, I remember.
Forgot about that. That's so awesome. Okay, so look, that's only one of your 2 claws. One of them tears through. Go ahead and make your second attack.
Again, no bonus for this?
No bonus for it, yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
31. Holy shit.
Wow.
So once again, another... Good God. What is Ulrich doing? Like, what does it look like as he's fucking tearing through this red ghost?
He's basically because he's out in his natural element, and he's in partial wolf form. He's channeling all that power, and he lets out this bellowing howl as he just starts rending through this this wraith in this berserker rage. He's
shit.
almost losing himself, right? In the moment.
Oh, one sec here. There's one.
Rickard see what's happening?
He does, yeah.
He yells out, "It's good to have you back, Ulrich."
Here's the thing. You get the sense, Ulrich, you're able to affect this thing, but it still feels kind of like you're pulling, like, spider web or diaphanous cloth, where like you're finding purchase on it, but it's not quite the same as tearing into a corporeal living thing.
Mm-hmm.
This, I imagine you may have experienced this before with other, black mana geists. Okay, who is going next? Next up is Ricard.
Excellent. He will draw his sword.
Yep. And because you're doing it as part of your move, doesn't cost you any actions.
Yep. And move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move to here.
Okay, underneath that tree. Awesome.
Yeah. Right beside the tree.
Okay.
And so I rolled, a D20 or whatever to see if I hit, or...
You know what? I've already ignored it for Dave, so don't worry about it.
Okay. I guess once you're right beside him, it's...
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe it's less of a...
Yeah, it's a giant glowing red thing, so don't worry about it.
All right, rapier, here we go. Submit. Oh!
Yeah. 20. Now, I was thinking of something yesterday when I was listening to yesterday's or the previous one. I have a sneaking suspicion that undead are actually immune to critical hits, but I know they can be hit by undead creature gains the following traits: no constitution score, immunity to no risk of massive damage, no constitution score, immune to all mind effects, immune to bleed, death effects, disease, paralysis, poison, sleep, and stunning, not subject to non-lethal ability drain or energy drain. Fucking yes, they can be critted.
Sweet. It's immune to everything but a crit.
Oh, I love it. That's fucking awesome. I love that you can affect them with precision. That's so cool. So, holy Christ, do you do 27 precision?
Apparently.
Oh my God. Holy crap. All right, so wowzers. And you confirmed the crit of 17. So let's see. I'm cracking out. Boom. Critical hit deck. So let's see what other effect it has on it. This has piercing damage. And it does extra damage against undead as well. Holy smokes. So,
it becomes your pet.
Achilles heel. So double damage, so the normal crit damage, plus 1d2 dex damage.
Oh my
So it doesn't
goodness.
take ability damage because it's undead.
Oh,
However,
yeah.
target speed is reduced by half. So what do you think happens? That you've pierced this thing and slashed out with such precision that you've managed to destabilize an undead form, corporeal undead form at that.
Maybe it's like sort of actually floating on this, like wisps of red mana, and I was just able to pierce right through and sort of to the, the source of the red mana there, and damage it magically, not just physically.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm trying to figure out.
Probably that is attributed a lot to the actual rapier.
Right.
Sorry, I forgot. I don't know where it is.
1d6. Yeah, I have no idea which number I should be looking at here, whether it's 27 or whether it's 27 plus 14. Can you guys tell? Like 5 plus...
Wait, if what?
No, I think it's 14, which goes to 27 with the bonus.
With the extra damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was 5 plus
27
5
is
plus 4.
Okay, so it's 31 in total. Holy hell. All right, so 31. Yeah, so yeah, that is a incredibly deadly strike. It still is really, because this thing is incorporeal, it is still not the amount of, if this was a corporeal undead, a vampire or something like that, that would have been a devastating strike. But this, yeah, that's just this feature. This thing seems to be more in the spirit world than in the physical world. So it's so difficult to affect damage. Yeah, Mythic. No, you still. Whoa, you've used 7. Yeah, sorry, Dave. Dave asked whether Mythic Power used same day. Yeah, so you guys have not rested yet. So you have not.
That's what I thought.
Mythic Power.
Okay.
Okay. Mechanically, guys, just so you know, so against incorporeal things, you need magic weapons or you need magic to actually affect the things, and unless it is a force effect, a force damaging effect, it still does half damage. So that's why you guys are sort of like hacking away this thing, and it's still not down in spite of all that damage.
The spiritual weapon does not give a flanking bonus or get one.
Oh, so knowing that, you positioned it here, didn't you, so that Ricard could get there?
Yeah, I would have positioned it here because it always attacks from my direction.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
Kev, what was the name of my sword again? I can't find it on the sheet.
Silver Dawn.
Silver Dawn. Oh, so Ricard actually calls that out. By the blade of Silver Dawn as he sort of does this maneuver.
Nice. Okay, now do you do anything else, Ricard? You still have a swift action, which could be used to spend mythic power, or if you've got...
Yeah, no, not this turn. I don't have anything.
Okay. So then next up is the Poltergeist. So you guys are surrounded by this thing. I mean, obviously the thing that has pissed it off the most is but I am going to spend one second here. I'm gonna put this to the back. So here's one of the things too that I love about the Mythic Adventures rules is I can make mythic monsters as well, which have mythic power. And I'm going to spend a point of mythic power on this. So it's going to attack twice. Once against Ulrich, once against Ricard. So this thing, it lashes around and you sort of see this, what seems like a crude, sort of like, imagine if you, projected an image of light on a wall, but it was so far away and so drowned out in natural light that you can only make out like the gauzy kind of form of it. That's what this thing's form is like. So it lashes out at you, Ricard. That is a 26 versus touch AC.
Oh yeah, it touches me.
Touches you, and not 20. Oh, against Ulrich. But I have to roll to confirm. Nat 1! So no critical hit on Ulrich. Jesus. That's 2 of us who have hit the spectrum today. That's hilarious. Okay, so against Ricard, you take 7 points of damage as this thing tears at you. Ulrich, you take 6 points of damage, and I need both of you guys to give me a fortitude save, please. And I think you both can feel as this thing hits you, you can feel your own fury. Your heart races faster. Your brow furrows. Your teeth grit. Okay. So Ricard, that was successful. Ulrich, that was a failure.
Uh-oh.
However, you have the ability to spend mythic power. You have 7 mythic power per day. You can spend 1 to add a d6 to your roll.
Yeah.
Which will do that. If so, go ahead and roll a d6 and let's see what gets added.
Go ahead.
Nice. So that is a success. You fortunately, once again, do not feel this thing tear at your very eternal being. So that is it for the poltergeist. Next up is Magdalena. What are you doing?
I will move to here and strike it with my Spear of the Night.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, nice hit.
So that's a +1 magical spear. I don't know if that changes its
It does.
projection.
It means that you hit it. It means that you're able to affect this thing. It still is. In order for things to do full damage against an incorporeal being, it either needs to have a ghost touch enchantment on it, or it needs to do force damage.
Okay.
Okay.
And
so
then the stick of the magic helmet.
Okay. Spill magic helmet. Spill magic helmet.
Oh, that double ones.
Oh my God!
terrible.
Absinthe is abandoning you. What the what?
I will banish the weapon.
All right. So that is Magdalena.
I'm going to use for swift action. I'm going to use Mythic Point.
Yep.
And I will channel my divine energy to banish this creature. With
cool.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it affecting my friends, putting them in danger.
Remind us how channel energy works. So you choose whether it's. I know what you choose whether it's heal or harm, or
it's not heal.
Dead.
Yeah. So I'm going to channel the divine energy to make this, to damage this incorporeal creature.
Awesome. Okay, so you're channeling undead energy, divine white mana.
Yes.
A Trojan horse.
I'm looking for it now. Class ability.
It's under protection variant, because you also do something different. So yours is 2d6 damage. Undead creatures get a save. DC half your level, so it's 11 plus your thing. So is it DC 5? What's your charisma modifier?
Back to main +2.
I actually made this save anyway. Okay, so then go ahead and roll damage, 2d6. Nice. So it did succeed, but that is radiant damage. So you cast out, and it tears at this thing's form, but not, those risen, burning corpses that you fought earlier today. Those things seem to be blown away like weeds in a strong wind. This seems to be a more intense will maintains this thing's consistency. Is that it for Magdalena?
I believe so.
Okay. Then it is. Oh, everyone gets a +1 to their AC. Your allies get +1 to their AC until next round too, thanks to your protection aura. Ulrich, what are you doing?
Let's go again with the mythic power attack.
Yeah, nice. Go ahead and make your attack roll. No modifier. Oh, not 20. Jesus, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Every time I put away the crit deck, that's exactly what happens. Is as soon as I put it away, you guys roll that 20s again. All right, so let's see what you get. Did I just get the same thing? No, I didn't. Okay, here we go.
Hilarious.
A crit confirmed with a 31. So yes, that is it. Okay, so it can do bludgeoning or slash. So do you want to do? Well, the first one's sickened, so that's not it. Oh, you know what? You would. Oh no, I did hit the same. Slashing is bad parry. Oh, and it's disarmed. That doesn't make sense. So we'll do normal things. So this thing gains what's called a sickened condition. So I'll just give it a -2. Undead are normally immune to the sickened condition, but what I'll say is that your claw just flared with primal power and has disrupted this thing's presence or its form. Go ahead and make your second attack. Oh, yeah, it's a big hit.
How about like visually, the Ulrich's claws glow with the power of his green mana, and it actually leaves these green streaks where it rips across the.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. And second attack.
I'm rather miserable.
No, but 28 hits. And that is some rounding down. Oh, my God. This thing is nearly discorporeated. Discorporeated? Is that a word?
Is it dissipating?
Thanks. That's easier. Discorporated, I think, is the. It's not disincorporated. Discorporated? I don't know. It's almost.
Corporation has been disbanded.
Once I commit to a wrong word, I keep saying it over and over again.
That sounds right.
It's hard some lawyers, and it's disincorporating.
It's a little embarrassing, but I actually mispronounced nomenclature during a questioning this week. So I said it. I'm like, no, that ain't it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Okay. So Ulrich, you tear away at this thing. Now, you may be asking yourself, this is Dave. You asked Dave O. Hey, Kev, what else can I do with Mythic Power? Guys, do you want to point out what else he can do with Mythic Power?
I think you can expend one and attack again.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Well, shit on me. Let's
not and say we did.
All right, fine. If you want to be a party pooper, see what I did there?
Zing! Cha-cha-cha.
That's a shitty pun, Dave.
You guys want to roll?
It just was
going. Streak.
All right.
Whew,
let's stop this before it starts to stink.
Okay, so once again, another hit. And holy crap, a nat 1 on your damage roll. But Dave, in a burst of green mana, this thing dissipates. You can hear it scream. And then it seems to, like, the tiny bits of floating green tendrils of green energy that are still, or not green, red energy, that still float in, the pounding rain that you can see. They seem to drift down and fall at the mud at your feet, Ricard. And you drop, like, it's drifted over and down to the mud at your feet. Now, Ricard.
Yep.
Would you give me a perception check, please? I'm going to give you a -4 on this, just because of the, what do you call it? Because of the
weather.
Yeah, the weather.
Oh, ooh.
Oof. Okay, so you're just sort of, I guess you're just oblivious. You're. What is it? I don't know. What are you feeling? What do you think is distracting him here?
Being in a graveyard, just after witnessing so much death, and it's just been a long day. I think he's tired. Nothing in particular. It's just everything adding up.
Sure, he's not even sparing it a second thought. I see that Magdalena made a knowledge religion check. Well, what's that about?
Well, she's trying to figure out if she can determine where this came from.
You know what? Why don't you give me a perception check, and I'm going to give you a -2 on it, only because you've effectively I've given you an 8 another from your religion check. Ooh. Oh wow! So you do see that thing drift down, and there's the motes of light that seem to drift at Ricard's feet. Magdalena, there's something about that mud. Like, Ricard's boots are sunk fairly deep into this mud. Like, deeper than you would expect. One of the things you do in a graveyard is you pack the earth down so that you don't have, like, it doesn't wash away. It keeps the eternal remains secured within.
Right.
If his boots are sinking in as deep as you think, that may indicate recently interred or disturbed earth.
Someone's been churning up the earth, and it's not as packed as it was. I'll
Brave?
point that out.
Yeah.
We're in a graveyard. The earth should be packed tight. You shouldn't be sinking the way you are, unless perhaps someone's been digging,
That's what I think.
upturning, disturbing the dead.
So
Yeah, who?
standing back, there's two things that you notice about this. One is that it does seem to be kind of in the shape of a rough triangle. It's what you might expect of a dug grave, something long enough and like longer and then narrow to fit a body. But the strange thing is there is no headstone here. That you don't need to make a religion check for it to know that is extremely unusual.
Why would there be a corpse buried here without a headstone?
In an unmarked grave.
Yeah.
Someone hiding something, obviously.
A murder?
Possibly a murder.
What are you guys doing?
Do we want to find out who it is?
I think so.
Might as well start digging.
What do we got for equipment? Well, you know what? We're in the graveyard. I bet you there's equipment just in these buildings here.
Yeah, somewhere around here.
Each of you give me another perception check, will you please? No modifiers this time. Excuse me. Nat 1 from Ulrich. Okay, so Ricard, right over here where that tree was that you were fighting under.
Yep.
There's a spade leaning up against the tree.
Oh, of course. I'll grab it.
Okay. So you grab that, and the earth, if you start digging, and you're drenched at this point too, like the rain is still pounding down, the thunder crashing, overhead, wind howling in your ears. But this earth gives way quite easily.
Mm-hmm. Like
you barely even need to sink the blade of the spade into it to start. Ulrich and Magdalena, you're looking down at this dark. It looks black in this light, the blackened earth below you as he's digging it out. Ulrich and Magdalena, actually Rickard as well too. Like, what's going through your mind as you're, shovel by shovel, you're uncovering this, then digging down deeper?
It feels very wrong. I don't know.
We shouldn't have to be doing this.
Yeah. Who could this be? What's been happening here at this monastery?
Ulrich, what are you thinking?
Ulrich is slightly drunk on the power he feels from defeating this thing.
And Magdalena?
She's really hoping that whatever's happened here is limited in scope. That the vein of evil that's creeping into the various factions of the church is not as widespread as she fears it might be.
Okay. So that's all.
She's like picturing conspiracy theory level problems here.
So that's what is racing through your minds. And apart from Ulrich, I think maybe the sound that seems even louder than the crash of thunder is the pounding of blood in your ears. But Rickard, then you hit something and you uncover and you see with the light cast by the tip of Magdalena's spear. Does your spear have a name, Magdalena?
It's a Spear of the Night.
Spear of the Night. So the tip Spear of the Night, the light that's being cast down, and it's probably like a flickering light, not because of the source, but because of the pounding water and rain going down, right?
Right.
And what you see in a stark contrast to the almost black earth and mud is a white robe.
Oh, like the white robe that the monks and the nuns wear here.
Yeah.
Did Magdalena notice anything different about Mother Agatha?
Apart from what you noted earlier, nothing else. No. I mean, did you? I mean, I'm trying to think how to get this out in role playing. I know that the other two characters. Hold on, didn't you notice earlier that she was kind of reacting in a strange way to
the story that I was telling her?
Yeah. So, Rickard, what do you do once you uncover the first bit of robe?
I start digging much faster. Obviously very carefully. But
so what you uncover, here's some of the things that you sort of you note about this. For one, this body, you found it about maybe 2 feet down. This is clearly not where a where a properly interred body would be dug or be placed. Second, there's no coffin. This is just a body that's been dumped in a hole and had earth thrown on it. Magdalena, you don't need to make a religion check for this, but there are funerary. I don't know. Man, I'm struggling with words tonight. Jeez. Specific funeral robes that you would be that you would wear if you were interring a body. These are not them. These are the robes of an acolyte of the or a brother or sister of the Heron's Grace Monastery.
She kneels and she starts helping unearth the body with her bare hands.
Sure.
Punch the spear into the ground and
often, yeah. So what you uncover is that this person was buried face down. You find it's a man, and you find that in the middle of its back in the middle of that now soiled with mud, but mixed in there are vicious, now dried red stains. Someone stabbed this person multiple times in the back.
Is Ulrich, if Ulrich actually pays close attention and does a little bit of investigation, can he tell what type of weapon would have been used to?
Is Ulrich trained in medicine?
No.
Heal, I should say, not medicine. No. But you know what? You could ask Magdalena. Magdalena is trained.
All right.
I think you guys have traveled together long enough so you would sort of know what what each other are capable of. So if he says out loud, his question is.
You know what? She's going to cast guidance, and she holds up her gauntlet and she asks Avacyn for some help to determine the cause of death, and then does a heal check on the body with a +1 bonus.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, go ahead. Oh. It is a fairly long and thin dagger.
Okay. I know the Herons. Perhaps I might know who might carry such a weapon. Not like an individual, but if it's a ranking.
Yeah, I think you've met Mother Agatha, you've been here before, but I don't think you weren't in service here at some point. I don't think. So I don't think you would be able to recognize oh, it's Todd's. No,
not an individual, but at different ranks, if they have different types of weapons that they would carry.
What you know is that like a dagger is not a weapon that would be, it's not a weapon that a priest of or a monk of Avacyn would necessarily carry.
Right.
Spears are sort of the holy symbol, and with herons, a scythe as well too, or a pole
Right.
armor kind.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll point that out. So this was done by a long, thin dagger, and a long blade like that. That's not natural to the followers of Avacyn.
Hmm.
You know what it could be too is a weapon of opportunity.
Yeah. So anybody could have picked up a knife.
Yeah.
But this isn't something that a chosen of Avacyn would have used, to fight an enemy.
Clearly, yeah.
Give me another religion check there, Magdalena. I just want to. Or yeah, you rolled 18 before. I want to see if you.
I mean, it's fishy.
Oh, did it roll twice, or did I ask you to do one before?
I had rolled one earlier, accidentally, but
okay, yeah. So then this is 15
after the heal roll.
Sure. So 15 is not quite going to be good enough to get any further insight. Did you want to spend? Do you want to draw on mythic power on the power of Avacyn? Do you have any left, or you want to?
I have one. I have two left.
Two left. Okay. Do you want to draw on that, or do you want to?
That's a D6.
It'd be a D6 you'd be adding. Yeah. Whoa! Awesome.
Avacyn is with me today.
Wow. Okay. So, here you're going to get some pretty juicy insight from this, because you did, you're calling on, and it's kind of a silent prayer to Avacyn to help you have some insight. So what like I said, is that a poltergeist is a specific type of geist that comes from and spurned by fury. So if this person died in a state of fury, what would cause that? What could possibly cause or outrage? What could cause a spirit of a holy man like this, assuming he was an actual member of the church and not a betrayer or a deceiver of some kind, because that's been playing around your mind as well too. What would cause it to get so furious, to be so, so offended, to have that carry through
to the afterlife?
Yeah.
Trail?
She starts wondering about this. Just wonder what would have done. What kind of event would have occurred to create such fury in a man who, on his deathbed, would carry that with him to the afterlife and drive him to become a poltergeist.
I don't know. It's scary. How well do you know the abbess?
Well, I've met Mother Agatha in the past. We've talked and had sup together, but I don't know everyone in the monastery.
With this news, should we bring this to her, or is there some chance that she is caught up in this?
I don't know. I don't know her well enough. I don't know the others. But if we went in and discreetly looked around, and perhaps we could find
for at least the immediate time being, I think we should keep this discovery between the three of us.
Just keep our eyes open for people acting peculiar within the monastery.
Yes, maybe do some investigation, but carefully with our questioning.
Mm-hmm. Nothing overt.
Mm-hmm. So it's not to tip our hand to the knowledge of this murder.
What say you, Ulrich?
Well, I'm willing to keep the secret if you are. Although I feel that perhaps bringing this to light may force the hand of the one who did this.
We don't have much information to go by. We don't even have the man's name, but you think that this will flush them out? What if
That's a great strategy.
what if it's a great conspiracy and the entire monastery's involved?
Then we kill them all.
We would have been attacked if it was.
Not if they thought they could conceal their treachery from us.
Well, let's bring the body inside, and we'll see what happens when people learn.
Yes.
Well, we could threaten to send word to the clergy body at large and expose the monastery if they were in fact, if we get the feeling that they are in fact responsible for this.
I wonder if we have a major relic right here. And she pulls out the sensor tier.
Yeah.
Yep. We have a tier of Avacyn here. It has divine power. Perhaps we can use it to determine, if there's a corruption within the church.
You know where you may gain further knowledge as to what this thing might be capable of?
The
The library of Heron's Grace Monastery.
Maybe we should do some quiet research and bring this murder to light in the morning. It is the middle of the night, right?
Yes, and the storm is still insanely dangerous.
Yeah. That, and if we're going to upset the ranks and uproot some conspiracy, I think having spells and health would be best. You are both injured, are you not? I can heal you now.
Yes. To be at our, if we do trigger some kind of a treachery within the monastery, we should be at our strongest to take it on. Could be very dangerous.
I will take up my spear and channel my divine power one last time for the day.
Okay.
And in this time, the light blue, glowing, healing presence of Avacyn will encompass my two companions and heal them of the wounds they have taken.
Okay, go ahead and roll 2d6. Nice! Each of you is healed for 8.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
If you're still further hurt, I have other spells.
No, that's great.
Okay.
Ulrich?
And you guys can picture as well, too. Like, you guys are sort of standing over this makeshift grave, shouting at each other to be able to be heard over the storm. The tree above you creaking in the wind. And the monastery off in the distance. Still alight. It's stained glass windows seeming almost macabre in the driving rain. What are you guys doing?
Is there a building nearby, like just from where we're standing? To see the edge of one on the left from the light of
There
my
are tombs and mausoleums around you.
You know what? I'm going to take the body and at least lay it somewhere more respectful than
Absolutely.
given it here.
Okay.
And we can fill in some of the dirt so it's less obvious in the morning. But
do we want to give the body a proper burial?
Well, not right this minute, no.
We might need to examine it some more, or guessing the tombs are sealed.
Yeah.
So if I walk this way, these are. Well, this looks open.
Yeah. This is. I would assume that these are all sort of sealed tombs. It's just
Okay.
I grabbed.
Even here between the buildings where there's paving.
Sure.
I'll lay the body down And weather be damned, I will use my grave salt.
Nice. What does grave salt do again?
It sanctifies.
Nice.
So I will lay the body down and pour the salt quickly in a circle so that it can create a circle without it first washing away.
Okay.
And a single dose is sufficient to form a 5-foot radius circle.
Nice.
Where the area remains consecrated for 1 hour per dose. So it's not much, but it's all I have for this poor soul.
You know what? The grace of Avacyn flows through you, and you regain one more use of your channel.
Oof. Okay.
So you guys see Magdalena doing this. I mean, she's got the spear with the light on it as well, too. So I'm guessing you guys are
We're probably helping her.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll hold her spear while she's putting out the salt, that kind of thing.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do now then? Now that this stranger's or as yet unknown monk's body has been secured, or at least as best it can be, both spiritually and metaphysically, what are you guys going to do?
Head in and rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you each head in, and there's sort of a you can still hear the sound of it outside, but like it's when the door shuts behind you, it is, like as if someone was turning off a soundtrack. You still hear, of course, the rolling peals of thunder.
And Garth Brooks singing in the background.
Yeah. But you are dry once again. You make your way to the cells that you have been assigned. And you hear, the sound of your footfalls are really the only thing you can hear. You can hear as you're passing them. You maybe hear in every one of the cells the sound of either a man or a woman's voice repeating prayers to Avacyn. And Magdalena, that's really unusual. These people are obviously devout. They have not only devoted themselves to the service of Avacyn, they've actually withdrawn largely from the world in order to perfect that connection with her. But this late at night, in the middle of a storm, with every one of them individually praying to Avacyn, that strikes you as someone praying for protection. Or salvation, perhaps. So you guys make your way down this darkened hallway to each of the individual cells. And the cells, it's worth noting that prison cells are named after the tiny monastic, basically closets, glorified closets in which they live and pursue their perfection of their souls. Each of you has your own area, so each of you will have its own small, narrow room. Ulrich, you in particular, I think, find this confining. What was that question?
They have doors?
They have doors, yeah.
Do they swing in or out?
I think they swing outward.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. No, they probably swing inward.
Inward, yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense to me.
Do they lock?
I don't think they do, no.
Yeah, I didn't think
Rickard has rigged his door so that if anyone opens it, like the little bedpan or water jug or something will fall and make a loud clang.
Sure. I think in each of these there is there's like a wash basin.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, so you're able to, and they've actually left one out for each of you guys. Sigmund seems to have already gone to bed, but these have been laid out for each of you guys. You all individually make your way in. It's just tiny, relatively speaking, tiny bed. There's a slit that makes up the window through which a little bit of light. I mean, the flash of the lightning is casting weird lights. There's a single taper candle in each of your rooms that you are able to light. And as you are,
after he washes up, he'll rig his door.
Sure. Those of you, actually, you're all wearing armor, I think. Leather armor for Rickart, and Ulrich, you've got that ironwood breastplate. And Magdalena, you have much heavier armor that you remove.
Need assistance?
Magdalena, it's faster to remove armor and put it on with someone, but you can do it on your own. It is much faster. I think it's like twice as fast with someone's help.
Mm-hmm.
So that's up to you whether
you guys have served together for so long.
Would help her or not.
Whatever. Yeah, it can help with some of the straps and
even if it's part of the way, so that you can then sort of remove it.
Yeah.
So should we keep watch tonight?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Rickard sort of explains how
guys, I'm picturing this happening in in the cells of one of your rooms, and all of you guys are talking in whispers so that it can't be heard.
Yeah.
Correct. What? I also point out that it's odd that everyone is praying in the middle of the night and not already asleep.
Right.
There would be prayer time. There would be parts of the day when they would pray before meals, early in the morning, before bed.
Yeah.
But at this time of night, people should be sleeping, not praying.
Right. All the more reason why I'm paranoid.
All the more reason to maybe sleep in shifts.
Well,
as Ulrich.
Rickard will explain his plan for how he was going to set up sort of a makeshift alarm on his door, so that if anyone messes with it or opens it, it will sort of immediately wake you up.
Mm.
But by that point, they're already in your room. Would you rather not see them?
I'm gonna have my sword under my pillow.
Yeah. All right then.
Okay. So are you all, I mean, it's going to be a real tight fit to fit all of you into one cell, but is that what you're planning on doing, or?
No, I think Rickard's going to do his own thing, but Ulrich, if you're willing to split the night, watch each other.
I'm game.
Okay.
Would you wish to sleep first? I'm feeling quite shaken right now. I don't know if I would even be able to sleep for a little while.
Well, if you can't, I most certainly can. So
you must be exhausted from running in animal form for so long to catch up.
Aye, and hungry too.
So, Magdalene, you've set all your armor in in one corner of the room, so you're able to and then you rest your spear next to you, so you can keep watch. There's a single chair in each with a small desk where the monks who would live here would study and read the Avicennian. Is that what they would call it? Sure. That's her holy book. Rickard, in your place, you set Silver Dawn next to your bed. It's in its sheath, set down. You've removed the straps from your leather armor, taken it off. You've removed your clothes down to your sort of like your night shirt. And finally, you've released your ponytail. You make your way over to the wash basin. You wash up, and it dawns on you as you're sort of washing the grime and blood and dirt off your hands, that you've been traveling all day, you've been fighting all night, and you've been out in those woods. This has just been the juxtaposition from what you started this day doing to now suddenly hits you, and it realizes just how long this day has seemed. You fill your hands with water and wash your face, and you look up into the mirror and you see words there that seem to have been written in dripping blood.
God.
And what they read in the common tongue, they are killing me. And those words in thick, heavy blood are dripping down and streaking the window, the mirror. What do?
I immediately go back to Magdalene's room and knock on the door.
Okay, so you immediately, do you grab Silverdawn first, or do you leave it?
Absolutely.
So yeah, it gives you an opportunity to look back. You can see on your pillow, there is a single feather. And around it, it's as if someone had placed a burning coal, because there's a black scorch mark around from where that feather has come to rest.
Oh, man.
What happens next? We'll find out next time. So I guess we'll finish this another time. So...
Gift that keeps on giving.
Actually, I'll get out of the Roll20 because our cameras are all effed up right now. So let me.
As you'll notice, there's no complaints.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Boom. Stop sharing. Get the camera back on. All right. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for part 2 of our Innistrad adventure. I can't really call it a one-shot anymore. The Innistrad adventure. So as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and we'll endeavor to get back to you in a timely fashion. Alternatively, you can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, or you can reach me by email, because my email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. In addition, you'll see a link in the video to something called Heroes Save Villages. This is the charity fundraising campaign that actually made tonight's session and last session possible. This was thanks to a very generous donation from Jeff. These sessions are our thanks to him for his very kind donation. If you want to learn more about the Heroes Save Villages campaign, you can learn all about it by clicking through the link below. You can also learn about the charity that the campaign benefits, the SOS Children's Villages International. Really great charity that benefits children living in very, very difficult circumstances. You can learn all about them and the good work they do through the link. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank my players. So guys, Dave, and Jeff, thank you so much for playing tonight, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks, Kev. It was fun.
That was a blast.
Nice. So until next time, folks, what does this mean? Who's writing messages? Whose body is that? We'll find the answers to this next time. Until then, happy gaming, everyone.